When we were young, we heard stories about this monster that was so scary that it came at night to take away our joy and happiness. And we were all afraid of it, so scared of it that in the evening when we would go to bed, we would pray to the Almighty God that we never wanted this monster to visit us or any of our family members or anybody at all. And I'm not talking about any other thing or any other monster than death. Yes, death. I don't know where you come from, but from where I am, you can't even mention somebody's name and death in one sentence because it is believed that there are spirits walking around and any of the spirits could pick it up and then act upon it. So, young and old, we all fear death. So today I decided to talk about death. One would ask, why talk about death? Because it is naturally part of our lives. Death is the final stage of life. And to define it, when I say life, life is what happens or what we do as living beings on earth. What happens to us as living beings on earth is what I mean by life. And death is the final stage of it. So by death, I mean there's this physical part of your body, and then there's the spiritual part or the energy in you or your soul, whatever you want to call it. They are always together, and the moment they separate eternally in such a way that the soul can no longer enter the body, that is what we term as death. The body could separate from the soul temporarily, sometimes to go get information for you or whatever. But the moment the separation is done permanently in such a way that they can never come together again, that is what I term as death. And it happens for a reason. Um, Death happens when the body gives up on its physical activities. When somebody is in extreme pain in such a way that the body can't comprehend or can't do anything about it, what happens is that the soul leaves the body. And so, if you think about it well, death is actually a liberation from the physical world. Imagine you had a car accident where you are bleeding profusely to an extent that the bone marrow can't keep up with blood production. What is going to happen is, as the physical body is giving up, the soul also leaves the body in an attempt to liberate you of the physical pain you're going through because there's no way your body can help you. So that is death. So if you look at it from that point, death isn't actually a bad thing, right? Well, I'm not supposed to laugh when I'm talking about death. So that is the reason why death happens. There's no one who has ever died without any physical condition. Whoever it is, everybody died because there was a physical condition that the body couldn't handle. If you die in a car accident, yes, there was a physical condition that the body couldn't handle, and that was why death became the solution. People who even die in their sleep, they all had problems. It's just that maybe you didn't know about it, or sometimes the dead person didn't even know they had that problem, but something was there that the body couldn't comprehend, and that is what causes death. There is nobody dies as a result of just dying. No fit, no 100% fit person dies. When someone dies, it's sad, and you don't want it to happen to even your enemy. You don't even want your enemy to die. That is so scary, not just to the people who are alive and witness their loved one dying. No, death is also scary to the dead one. In the process of death, I am not sure anybody dies apart from those who die instantly. For those who die gradually, I am not sure it is easy for them. It's very very scary and painful. The process isn't a sweet journey. It isn't something you would want to happen over and over and over and over again. I'm saying this because there was a time I can't say I faced death. One of the times I was donating blood to someone. It started all right. I was okay until if you know the blood bag contains about 450 mils of blood. At the time, I had done about 400, waiting for just 50 mils of blood, and 50 mils of blood isn't that much. So I was almost done with the donation when I started feeling like something was leaving my heart. Something was leaving my heart. I couldn't explain what that was. It intensified. It wasn't a form of pain. There was no pain, but something was leaving my heart and it intensified. So I told the guy who was looking after me, by the way, I'm a lab technician. So it was my colleague who was doing the process. So I told him I wasn't feeling right. I feel like falling down or fainting. And then he thought I was lying. He's a friend, so sometimes we joke. And so he was just looking at me. All of a sudden, there was a blackout, and lucky for me, there were three other people in the room apart from the two of us. There were three other people who were doing some research in the blood bank. I felt total darkness. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. I think I was falling, but then I could hear. All I heard was one of the three people. One of them was a nurse, and she was shouting that the guy is sweating in this air condition. Can't you see he's passing out? I was sweating profusely, and I didn't even know I was sweating, but that was what I heard. So for about a minute, I don't know what happened. And then I woke up lying on that bed, and I told them I was fit. I can go home, and they said no. So the nurse ran to the emergency ward and then got some infusion for me. After that, I rested about 30 minutes, and then I got up and walked home. So that was the closest I came to death. So from that day, I realized that we all could die. At the time, that was 2nd February 2022. I was 23 years. But my thought was only old people could just die. But that day, it just hit me that we all could die. So from now on, I need to have it at the back of my mind that I could die tomorrow. And this really changed a lot in my life, from the way I think to the way I do my stuff. I was no longer scared of it like we've been told to be scared of it. So how can we escape death? Unfortunately, there's no way to permanently escape death. One day I will be gone, same as you. As a matter of fact, about 100 years from now, I am not sure I will be alive. I will just be a memory. About 200 years from now, nobody might even remember me. You might as well think about it before you take any action. But there's a way you can prolong your life, and that's simple: taking care of your body. Because, like I said, death only happens when there's something wrong with your body. If there's nothing wrong with your body, you cannot die. As simple as that. So, take very good care of your body, like exercising, eating well, whatever it is. Take very good care of your body. That is how you are going to escape death for the meantime. However, it's inevitable. Sometimes when people lose their loved ones, and in the grief moment, in the moment of sadness, some people start asking questions as to why would God create death? Why would there be death? Why? What at all did humans do to deserve death? I mean, we weren't supposed to die, right? But unfortunately, without death, let's look at it from this point. In history, we've heard of people who have come to live, and as a result of their decisions, thousands, if not millions, of people have have passed away as a result of their decisions. And if I start mentioning names, I could go on and on and on and on and on. But just imagine these people were immortal. Just imagine there was no way to stop them. They would have still been killing people, right? So if you look at it from that point, then humans were supposed to die. And then again, I don't know if there was a way we could calculate the number of people who have lived on Earth, but something tells me that if we were not dying and everyone was living, it would have been too crowded over here. We wouldn't have gotten space. And when there are a lot of people with less resources, what happens is chaotic. So you can check examples from countries like Philippines, Nigeria, countries where there are a lot of people with less resources. India, even India. Sometimes if you look at their railway stations and some other stuff, there are a lot of chaos because everyone wants to survive. This is what the world would have been if there was no death. That's why there's death. Now that we understand that it's inevitable, so what can we learn from death? There's something we could learn from death. One is that since we know we are going to die anyway, and in about 100 years from now, we are going to be memories, sometimes you should pause and then enjoy the moment. You should pause and realize that after all, you are going to die anyway. You shouldn't always be about that your work, and you don't even have time for your parents, your children, your loved ones. And sometimes you should just pause and look around. Life is actually amazing. It isn't that bad, even though you feel like you are stuck and you are in a mess because your life isn't going on well. But this will soon be over. Very, very soon, this will be over. Again, another thing we can learn is to not take advantage of people because we see them as inferior. At the end of the day, we are all going to die, and we don't know what awaits us after death. No one is sure of that. So you should think twice before you do something that is going to hurt somebody, or you do something that is going to put somebody in pain. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying I am happy people die. No, I am not happy people die. However, it's inevitable. We just have to learn how to live with it and move on. About 3 months ago, I lost my 90-year-old grandmother. And I was so sad, even though she was 90 years. But I was so sad. So I never wish death upon anyone. However, it's not about my wish, it's a law of the universe or God. It is what it is. It is there. I can't do anything about it. Once it happens, how do we cope? So your loved one dies, or your bedrock, somebody who you look up to, somebody who you talk to, somebody who helps you solve your life problems, somebody who is of great importance to you in your life, they die. How do we cope? How can we cope? Well, that's why you are seeing this video before that person dies. You should always have it at the back of your mind that we all will die. Anyone will die. Everybody will die, right? And so you shouldn't be so much attached to them as to thinking that you forever see them. If you have it at the back of your mind that one day they will go, when the time comes and they leave you, you're still going to be sad, very, very sad, yes, but you will still find a way and live because life continues. Life has to continue. This brings me to the end of the video. Have a nice day.